Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about 3 things we're doing different with our second frozen embryo transfer than we did with our first. So stay tuned to find out what they are. Okay guys, for anyone who's new, welcome, and welcome back to those of you who are my subscribers. But for those of you who are new, this is our second frozen embryo transfer. Our first one did fail. We don't really know why. I think that's most of the time, what it is you just don't know why. But we are gonna do a few things different this transfer than we did with the last one. So I wanted to go over those with you guys. So the first thing is I'm going to be taking Lupron instead of taking birth control to get started with everything. That's usually the first thing you do is you take birth control. But for me, I'm going to do Lupron instead this time. And the big reason for that is after we had that failed transfer, we attempted to do an ERA test. You can go back and look at some of my other videos talking about that. But during that process, you're preparing like you're going to do another transfer, but you actually do a biopsy on the day that you would do a transfer versus a transfer. And I was doing the birth control and the estrogen, and then I went in to get checked on my lining and my hormones and all that stuff, and my progesterone was too high. They want it to be below 1 before you actually start doing the progesterone and oil and all that. They don't want your body kind of taking over and messing things up. And so they said that, well, like, we have to cancel. So my doctor suggested that what we would need to do the next time is to take Lupron instead of birth control. And with Lupron, you actually take it on the day 21 of the cycle, like before you would actually do your transfer. So they just have to confirm that you ovulated, and then you start taking it on day 21. And then typically, from what my nurse said, I'll get a period around the time I would normally get a period. My cycles are usually 27, 28 days long. And once I get my period, then I actually start taking the estrogen at that point. And I think the Lupron will actually overlap, so I'll be taking Lupron with the estrogen for a little while. I don't really know exactly how long I'll be on the Lupron. My nurse was like, just take it till I tell you to stop. So, but something about, she said originally like something about 10 days, so something like that probably. But so that's one thing we're doing different, is doing the Lupron instead of birth control. The next thing is we're going to do something called an endometrial scratch. And that is where they go in through your cervix into your uterus, and they have like this tool or something that they go in and they scratch or irritate or kind of cut, I guess, I don't know, your lining. And it's supposed to cause like healing to happen, because there's this irritation or this wound, and then healing of that needs to happen. And some people have said that that could help with implantation. It kind of helps prepare that lining for implantation, because there's new growth, new fresh, I guess, endometrial lining. So so that's something we're doing different. It's something that my doctor did not talk to me about. I actually asked my nurse about it, and just because I think typically when you have a failed transfer, you kind of look up things online about things that could be helpful. And I was seeing that a pretty good amount. So I just asked my nurse about it, and she was like, yeah, I think that would be a great option. And she said she does think that it could potentially be helpful, and she was very positive about it. And then even another nurse there was positive about it, and my doctor was all for it. So basically we're like, okay, well, yeah, let's include this. And there is, if you look up stuff about it, you'll probably see mixed reviews of how people experience it. Some people say that it's not really that bad, and then some people say it's terrible, like the worst pain of my life. So I guess we'll find out what my experience will be. But my nurse did say that some people have said it feels like intense cramping, and which makes sense. And but it's a very short procedure, she said. And she said if I wanted to, I could take like Tylenol or Advil or something like that before, you know, just if I wanted to. But anyway, so I guess we'll find out. But it is a little bit nervous, like, going into it, because you can see so many mixed messages about how people experience it. And it makes sense because we're all different. So, but anyway, so I am going to be doing that, and that's going to be on July 31st that I'm going to do that. So, so then that's the second thing. So the third thing we're doing different is we are actually going to transfer 2 embryos. So I've talked a little bit about this in the past, that was kind of what my doctor suggested, and what he was kind of leaning towards was us to do, and we only have 2 embryos left. So if this doesn't work, we would need to do another egg retrieval. But he said he just kind of would lean towards doing the 2, which at first was a little bit strange for me because they're pretty big on only doing 1. But you know, I think his thought is that potentially it could be quality issues, and especially since I have slightly elevated FSH. My FSH is, well, a year ago is when it was tested, was 11, and they want it to ideally be below 10. So, and he said sometimes that he tends to kind of correlate that with quality. So, yeah, he just said that it would increase the chances if we did 2. He says totally up to you guys, of course, and there would be a 30% chance that you would have twins. So anyway, we thought about it a lot. We prayed about it, talked to family about it and friends, and for us, we're just like, you know what, let's go with that. Let's just trust where he's leaning towards, our doctor. And then even, you know, when they defreeze these embryos, it's not 100% guaranteed that they're going to survive. I know our clinic is known for having a really good embryology lab, so it's likely, but it's not for sure. So, you know, we could lose 1, and then we would still have something to transfer, you know, versus if we just tried to thaw 1. And so anyway, we just have kind of made that decision that we do want to move forward with the 2 embryo transfers. So that's a big difference, definitely. So those are really the main things that are going to be different. Like, everything else is really going to be the same. I'm going to continue to take the vitamins I'm taking, I'm also going to, I actually haven't been going to acupuncture for a while. I've just kind of, you know, we've been on vacation and all that stuff, and I just haven't been doing it. But I'm probably going to try to incorporate some of that very soon, because I do kind of think I'm seeing a little bit of a correlation in the thickness of my lining and going to acupuncture. You know, I know it's not guaranteed, but I do think, you know, it is supposed to help with blood flow there. So, and it's something that it's relaxing for me. So I think that I'm going to try to incorporate that as well. So, so yeah, that's the plan. And then also, as of right now, the date for our transfer is August 12th. So that could definitely change, you know, as they look at things, and they might say I'm not quite ready or something like that. But as of right now, August 12th is when we're doing our next transfer. So yeah, that's the plan. And like I've said before, it's kind of a mix of emotion. It's excitement, but it is also fear, you know, because it's just, now we go through this process, like with this scar on us, kind of like of, we did this and it didn't work. So, you know, that can be tough. But I think I also want to really be aware of letting myself kind of feel whatever I am feeling, whether that's sadness and fear, and kind of expressing that, or if it's excitement and like joy. Because it's amazing that we can do this. Like, so, you know, just kind of trying to be aware of that as we're moving forward. But anyway, but thank you guys so much for all your support, and stay tuned for more videos about shots and procedures and all that stuff, and results, you know, as well. So I thank you so much, yeah, for prayers and support. and all of that. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.